Most people look at their ex after a breakup and think, they're fine. They moved on. They don't care. They're posting, they're going out, they look calm. Maybe they even look happier than they did when they were with you. What? And that's the part that hurts, isn't it? Because while you're barely functioning, you can't eat, can't sleep, can't drink, or maybe you're drinking too much. And they seem completely unaffected. No panic, no regret, no breakdown, nothing. But here's the thing. What you're seeing is not always peace. Sometimes it's relief. Sometimes it's avoidance. Sometimes it's distraction. And sometimes it's just the first stage before reality finally hits them. Because your ex may look fine now, but that doesn't mean that they're okay. And I will soon explain, so stay tuned. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Lucia. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. And if you're not new, welcome back, my no contact army. I hope you've been a good little soldier and stayed in no contact. Okay, so relief is not the full story. Right after a breakup, the dumper, yes, feels relief. And not because they stopped caring about you, but because often the pressure of the relationship is gone. There's no more tension, no more expectations, no more emotional weight. And they'd been thinking about the breakup for a while, and now they finally did it. So, that's out of the way. So yes, they feel lighter. But don't confuse lighter with better. Relief is temporary. It's what happens when you escape something difficult, like finally, as I said, going through with it and doing the breakup. And most people mistake that feeling for clarity. They think, well, this was the right decision. But they're not seeing the full picture yet, because guess what? Relief fades. And when it does, something else takes its place. Now, you feel the breakup immediately. They don't, because by the time they ended things, they'd already been thinking about it. They were mentally and emotionally preparing for it. So they've already gone through doubt. They've gone through distancing. So when the breakup happens, it feels like a release to them and a shock to you. However, keep this in mind. They were living in the idea of life without you. The idea, not the reality. So at first, everything feels easy. But then real life starts showing up. You're not texting, I hope. You're not there. You're not part of their routine anymore. And that's when it hits. Not all at once, of course, but slowly and quietly. And by the way, if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net/coaching, and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website, and the direct link to click on is underneath every single video and podcast. Okay, so to continue, this is where most people completely mess things up for themselves, because they panic, they reach out, they try to explain or fix or convince, and what happens? As I'm sure many of you have found out, the ex becomes even more certain about leaving, because now it feels like pressure again. Listen carefully, because this is the turning point. Because when you go silent, everything changes. You remove the tension, you remove the emotional noise, you remove the fight. And now they're left with their decision. No distraction, no reassurance, no control, just their own thoughts. And that's uncomfortable, because silence forces reflection. Because now the questions start. Did I make a mistake? Why do I feel this way? Why do I miss them now? Because when someone breaks up with you, they are not 100% certain they're making the right decision. They may think they are, but after they finally do it, then they realize, now I'm not so sure. And silence doesn't push them away. It actually forces them inward. So here's the reality versus the expectation. Most dumpers leave with a story in their head. I'll be free. I'll be happier. There's someone better out there. And sometimes they act on that immediately. So they start dating. they distract themselves, they chase someone new. But here's where the fantasy starts to crack. What usually happens is it doesn't feel the same. Rebounds feel shallow. Connections feel off. Something is missing. Someone is missing. Because what they had with you, it had depth and history and familiarity. And you do not replace that overnight. And if you listen to my video about my client who got his avoidant ex back after 9 months, and if you haven't, I will put the link in the upper right-hand corner on YouTube. She tried going out with other people. In fact, he saw her on a dating app and she had swiped right on him. And I told him, do not swipe right on her. Don't make it that easy. So she went on some dates. Didn't work out, did it? Because she went back to my client. And that's how he got her back after 9 months. So check out that video. So when reality doesn't match the expectation they built in their head, that's when the shift happens. That's when missing begins. And to make sure you stay in no contact, be sure to download my app Silencio, which will help you to stay in no contact. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And there's those of you who still read, yes, some of us still read, you can download my book. And that is available at nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. Okay, so just because your ex isn't reaching out, it doesn't mean they're not thinking about you. It doesn't mean they're unaffected by the breakup, even though they broke up with you. Just because they look fine, it doesn't mean they feel fine. So don't make the mistake of judging their inner world by their outer performance. A lot of people process things internally, especially avoidance. They don't show it, they don't talk about it, they suppress it. But suppression is not resolution. It just delays it. And your silence, it adds something powerful. It removes their sense of control. And I actually talked about that in my video, when an avoidant realizes you've given up the stages of panic. And I will put the link for that on YouTube in the upper right-hand corner. So your silence creates uncertainty, and it forces them to face something that they were not expecting. Life without you actually being real. And here's the truth that most people do not want to hear. If you keep showing up, they don't have to miss you. If you keep reaching out, they don't have to feel the loss. If you keep making it easy, they don't have to question anything. And this is why chasing feels productive, but usually works against you. You end up protecting them from the very feelings that would make them reconsider the breakup. So no, your ex isn't necessarily okay. They're just ahead of you in timing. So what looks like strength is often just a phase. And what looks like indifference is usually delayed emotional processing. And the biggest mistake you could make is interrupting that process. Let the silence do what chasing never can. Let the silence do the dirty work for you, because the moment you stop trying to prove your value is the moment they start to feel your absence. So now I want to hear from you. Do you have any questions or comments about anything I've said? And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or episodes. And remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.